Welcome to the Story Lab. Today, we are going to imagine a movie that adapts a great book from techno-thriller author Michael Crichton. Many of Michael Crichton's thrilling books have already been adapted into movies. Today, we add one to the list, Micro, by Michael Crichton and Richard Preston. Let's make a micro movie. For the ingredients to this story, let's collect all the themes and character traits that make up the story in the book. One theme is nature at a small scale, how it is both crucial and scary. There are dangerous animal attacks as well as scenes of wonder and excitement in the book. There is a clear distinction between the micro world and the human world, as if they are separate and one just enters the other. There are several scenes in the book where nature overpowers the human's plan, but it is never done with evil intent. The evil intent comes directly from other humans in the story. There is a theme of needing to understand nature but not trying to control it. The technology of how the shrinking works is crucial to the plot, especially through the existence of the micro-bends. The characters of the students represent different archetypes. They have little complexities but may surprise us from time to time. In the book, we get to see the micro-world from every character's perspective, spending a lot of time getting to know them in different situations. A movie might require us to cut some of these scenes. Since we have a theme of understanding the world around us, many species and plants are being explained. In the movie, we need some way of conveying that information without constant exposition and without taking away from the main action of the movie. Okay, that should be a lot to work with. Let's put our list of ingredients together. The book Micro. Our thoughts about the adaptation. The movie should be of average length. It is first and foremost an action thriller, i.e. action or horror scenes have priority over character moments and background information. We let the mixture cook for a while and then have it analyzed. The story should be ready momentarily. Micro, the movie. While the book opens with a random detective dying from a nanobot attack and then a long introduction scene to all the students, the movie will jump more directly into the plot itself. The movie opens with Eric Jansen on his boat being attacked by tiny killer robots and jumping into the stormy waters to save himself. Alison Bender is watching from afar. Then, after we are convinced that Eric is dead, we see Peter Jansen standing on the shore with a policeman and discussing the death of his brother. In this scene we also introduce a gadget or app that Peter is using to identify small plants and animals. This app locks onto an object and then lists a couple of facts about it. This is important because this app will be our way of presenting information about the micro world to the viewer. In every subsequent establishing shot, the distinctive target finder symbol of the app will appear, lock onto something and list a couple of facts about that plant or animal. Playing with the theme of nature versus human-made stuff, the exposition tracker will always fail to lock onto something if a man-made item is the only thing in the frame. In the story, Peter and the policeman talk further, with the policeman asking why Peter was on the island. As in the book, we are on Hawaii. Peter explains that he is here to meet the CEO of the company, where his brother worked. Then, the policeman shows him a tape of Alison looking at the accident happen. This is when Peter gets nervous, since she is the woman who had invited him to the island. Requesting a copy of the tape, he prepares to confront Alison and her boss Vin Drake that evening. This all happens only a couple of moments into the movie, and was probably shown already in the trailer, because the main part of the movie really only starts when the students are shrunk. We thus stay in the introduction phase, as Peter and the other students arrive at Nijmegen and meet the CEO. We get introduced to each of the students through their reactions to different parts of the lab complex. Then they all arrive at the showing room. Peter sees his chance, and tries to insert his USB stick into the presenter. Before he can succeed though, Vin Drake comes in and starts a presentation about the shrinking technology that Nijmegen had developed. Stunned, the students listen. Peter momentarily forgets about his evidence. As the presentation ends, Vin takes Peter aside and confronts him, taking away the USB stick and angrily revealing that he had indeed arranged Eric's death. Unfortunately for Drake, he had left his microphone on, thus letting all of the students hear his confession. Van acts quickly, shoving the students into the tensor generator room. There, he tricks them into going into the shrinking field and getting reduced in size to about 1.2 centimeters. In the book, the tensor room has individual platforms for each of the students and the technician, that is shrunken alongside them. For simplicity and to give the characters another chance to react to what is happening, we only have one bit generator field in the movie. This will also be relevant towards the end of the movie. We then start to follow the book very closely. Van Drake first tries to kill Peter Jansen by feeding him to a snake, but the other students work together to free Peter. Allison feels bad and tries to get them away from Drake, driving up to the Arboretum. There, the students manage to escape, before Van catches up with Allison. In trying to stage the disappearance of the students as a drunken driving accident, Allison trusts Van once more, only for the CEO to kill her. Meanwhile, the students are lost in the jungle that is the Arboretum. From Kin Sky, the technician, they learn about the micro-bends that will kill them if nothing eats them, about the micro-stations in the woods and about the planes at Tantalus Base up the mountain. Then, they get overrun by ants and Kin Sky becomes the first casualty. At this time, the micro-world seems extremely scary to us, and while Rick Hunter tries to play it all off, using scientific knowledge, the students can think of nothing else but escape. They quickly make their way to one of the stations, and it is a relief for the tension of the whole movie, when they reach the safety of the artificial bunker. But Van Drake has sent out his security guy to remove all the stations. Thus, even while the students feel safe, and build new tools and weapons, the real danger approaches. The students fall out of the station once the security guy arrives and digs it out. It is here that Jenny Lin, the first of the students, dies. In the book, she is swept away by rain, but we will simplify the plot a bit by having her injured in the fall and dying directly from the bends. Stranded in the wild once more, the students work together to build a shelter and slay an insect as a food source. This way, they make it through the night. Van Drake, on the other hand, doesn't sleep but contracts to hunters to go into the micro-world and kill the students using an advanced walker. The next day, we see the students adjust well to the micro-world. Now, the feel of this world is no longer dark and scary but wondrous and pulsing with life. The students climb upon a tree, looking for a way out and realize that the only way back to the Nanigen building and the tensor core would be to get to those micro-planes at Tantalus Base. On the tree, Danny, the obnoxious doctorand, gets stung by a wasp which uses Danny's arm as an incubator for her eggs. Terrified with this reality, Danny doesn't complain when the students decide to climb the mountain to get to Tantalus. Meanwhile, Drake's assassins catch up with the students and ready their strike. It is the midpoint of the movie, when the assassins shoot Amar and then Peter, leaving only 4 of the shrunken people alive. Karen King saves Erica and Danny hides, while Rick, with the help of a giant spider, takes out the assassins. Then, the survivors take over the shrunken walker and use it to start climbing the cliffs. Van Drake observes the movement of the walker on a radar screen, deducing where the students are going, but is halted by the arrival of the police, telling him about having found Allison's body. In that time, the walker reaches the top of the mountain. In the book, this is when the survivors are attacked by birds and Erica killed by them. In the movie, we move the sudden rain to this position, with it sweeping away both Erica and the walker. Rain on the mountain top makes sense and feels a lot more random than a bird attack, fitting well with the theme of the students handling the micro-world just fine. Afterwards, Karen King is taken away by the most dangerous insect they have yet encountered, and Rick Hunter goes in to save her, building us a new team to root for. Together with the slowly maddening Danny, they reach Tantalus Base only to find all the equipment having been moved to a secret underground tunnel. There, they meet Ben Rourke, the inventor of the tensor core and a man stranded in the micro-world. Ben tells them the secret of overcoming the micro-bends by sleeping inside a magnet. During the night, Danny finds the micro-planes and takes off with one, only to be eaten by bats. But the danger for Rick, Karen, and Ben is equally as great, as Van Drake arrives to destroy the base. Rick and Karen just about make it out with the planes, now being in the same danger as Danny before. But then, a car shows up and lets them fly inside. It is Erik Jansen, who is revealed to have survived the attack on his boat thanks to his knowledge of the nanobots that Drake had sent to kill him. As they drive away, Van notices them and immediately follows. It becomes a race, with Erik and the survivors reaching the Nanigen building first. But it is revealed that Van had programmed all security bots in the building to attack anyone that isn't him. What only we the audience know is that Don, the security guy, has stumbled upon a security camera that had shown Drake shrinking the students and trying to feed Peter to the snake. During the time the police had been there, Don had investigated further and found Drake giving the assassins the job to kill the students and even a recording of the events on Tantalus. Thus, Don had decided to go to the police. Even while Erik is being attacked by the nanobots, and Van arrives and tries to shoot all survivors, the police is gearing up, approaching and surrounding the building. Meanwhile, Drake nearly kills Erik and Rick and Karen can only narrowly escape the nanobots, who to them, are quite large. Rick and Karen do have one more chance though. Ben had told them about a micro-sized control terminal for the tensor generator at the center of the field. They just about make it to that terminal, and manage to get big again. Alongside them, a couple of nanobots are enlarged. The whole fight ends in a mess, as the enlarged but destroys the tensor core. Rick and Karen save Erik and Don, the security guy, shoots Drake, before being killed by the bot. The police get Rick, Karen and Erik out. As in the book, the last scenes are Erik, in the hospital, learning that Nanigen has been completely destroyed. And Rick and Karen are watching the sea, wondering whether it might be possible to go back to the micro world one day. Please remember that everything presented here is simply the results of an experiment. No part of this presentation is intended as a correction of an existing story or claims to be the real story. The selection or omission of any parts of the source material is not to be understood as commentary, positive or negative, on the original productions. These are simply thoughts and experiments based on existing material, and none of it could be created without the work of all those involved in creating the original works. As with any scientific result, you may utilize any of the story ideas that resulted from these experiments for your own experiments or production, while citing this experiment as its source. It is now closing time for our lab. The experimenters will go on a bit of a hiatus now. But don't worry, new experiments are being conducted already. Goodbye until next time.